What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you an NFL trade prediction video on Giants pass rusher Azeez Ojulari. I believe he'll be traded to the Las Vegas Raiders sometime before the trade deadline. Now, let's get into it, guys. It's funny how the NFL works. Azeez Ojulari a couple years ago, who was drafted in 2021, was thought of at one point in time as being the Jets' next up-and-coming pass rusher. Had a pretty good rookie season. I believe it had 8 sacks. The next year after that, his sophomore effort in the NFL, he had 5.5 sacks, recorded a bunch of pressures. He was the up-and-coming guy for the Giants pass rushing spot. Then, when they brought in Kayvon Thibodeau via the draft a couple years ago, he was thought of to be a great 1-2 option to pair with Ojulari. And now, fast forward now to 2024, Ojulari on the last year of his deal, battled through injuries, and now they have a better pass rusher than Thibodeau and himself, and they brought in Brian Burns from the Panthers. It looked like he's on his way out. So the NFL works crazy how things and roles and perspectives change on a certain player, how time moves on. So this is a quick league. Things change fast, but I believe there's still some good left in Ojulari. Just because he doesn't have probably a future with the Giants doesn't mean he doesn't have a future in the league. So I'm today to bring you a prediction video, him to the Raiders. I have a couple of reasons why. Then we'll get into some alternative teams as well. Some teams that might outbid the Raiders, or they just might have the Raiders might not be involved at all. I could be wrong there, but I think they should be in the mix and will be in the mix soon to come. But let's get into it, guys. So Ojulari to Vegas. Let's talk about why. There's a bunch of things to start with first. You start with Max Crosby and the other defensive guys who are there right now. But I want to start with something I like to call past connections. If you watch my channel, especially my prediction videos, I talk about this a whole lot. Patrick Graham, who is currently the Raiders DC, he was the Giants DC before coming to the Raiders, and he was the Giants DC his last year with the Giants in Ojulari's rookie year with the Giants, him having 8 sacks. So if anybody knows what Ojulari can do, it is Patrick Graham from the Raiders. And that correlates to now going to the Max Crosby and the D-line issue. Max Crosby hasn't looked good this year. Is it a slow start? Is he, is he injured? We're not quite sure what's going on, but we saw Joe Alt lock him up via the Chargers game week 1. We saw week 2 he was okay, not great. So super early, only through 2 weeks, but Max Crosby hasn't looked like himself as of the first 2 games so far. Then you have his running mate from last year, Malcolm, I believe it's Kuntz, I believe his name. I know who he is. He had a good year, a breakout year last year as a rotational pass rusher for the Raiders. But he's on injured reserve right now due to miss, I believe, 3 or 4 games. So he's out. Tyree Wilson, someone I liked last year, the first round pick, I believe, pick 9, 10, 11, something around there. He's out right now. So that Raiders pass rush isn't producing a lot right now, so you're going to need someone to come in and help bring some pressure, bring something to help Max Crosby, to help Christian Wilkins, and I believe Ojulari could be that guy. Some talk about Hassan Reddick. I don't think that might be a little too rich for the Raiders' blood, in my opinion. It does make sense, but I just don't know if that's the right thing to do. Raiders going to cost a lot of money. You have Max, you have Wilkins, so it's possible, I guess, but I think it's a little too rich for their blood. Personally, I think Ojulari is the best option and better fit for them as of right now. And then you look at the Raiders and just the overall team. They need to get better. They're playing okay. I believe they're 1-1. First week loss was pretty close. Second week they edged out they're 2-0. The Raiders 2-0 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're 2-0. They beat the Broncos week 1, a game I believe they should have lost, and then they won week 2 versus the Ravens. Yep. So yeah, they're 2-0. So they're on a good track. They're on a good track. It's just you still want to get better as the season goes on, get more chemistry. Your quarterback right now is Gardner Minshew, as we all know what happened, but you have to get better. And Adams is seemingly happy as of right now. You have Brock Bowers playing well. The offense is playing pretty well. Defense is okay, but like I said, you can and you do have spots to get better at. So I'm really loving Ojulari to the Raiders. And also, they might need a running back as well. Zamir White, who a lot of people had as kind of a breakout year. Been with the Raiders for a year or two now. Not playing that well, honestly. So kind of leaving a lot of meat on the bone for Zamir White. So it could be a chance to get a guy like Miles Sanders who could become available. That makes sense there. Bringing some new blood to that Raiders running back room. So that could be a move to watch out for also. But some alternative moves, just in case, as I said, the Raiders don't want Ojulari or they get outbid in the process. I think there are three teams that could use Ojulari's services very badly. That's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're also 2-0 just like the Raiders, but also like the Raiders as well. They're kind of the lower level of sack numbers as of right now, sack and pressure numbers. The Bucks pass rush leave a lot to be desired. They have some injuries now. The DB room kind of banged up. No real frontline names in that front seven. No real top names there at all. So, you're going to need some production. Name doesn't mean all. No, name doesn't bring play on the field. But sometimes it does, But if you don't have names, you got to bring in some more bodies. And I think Ojulari makes sense for the Buccaneers and their push for the playoffs on the NFC South. Next up, the New York Jets. Now, this move could cause or we need a couple of things to happen. First, you need Reddick to probably be moved on from, because the other edge rusher, Jermaine Johnson, had another promising year upcoming for him. He's out for the season with, I believe, an Achilles injury. So he's out. You let Bryce Huff go to the Philadelphia Eagles, and you got back Hassan Reddick, in a separate move, but you got him back, and he's not playing. So you would probably have to move on from Reddick first, guarantee he's off the roster, and then you will try to, bring in Ojulari, staying in New York, just going to the Jets instead of the Giants. That makes sense there, but you would probably want to make sure if you're the Jets to get Reddick off the roster, off the his contract first, his last year, same as Ojulari, both will be free agents. Well, depends on Reddick. If he gets moved and a team trades for him, he might he might get his new contract that he desires. But Ojulari, most likely, wherever he gets traded to, if he is traded, he will not be given a new contract. He'll have to earn it probably this summer, or spring or summer. But so for the Jets, I would say it's a good move. It makes sense pairing him with Will McDonald. I love it. Will McDonald had 3 sacks, I believe, last game, and he was on my breakout player list. So that's good to see there. So if Reddick does come back and pair up McDonald, that'll be awesome. But if not, move on from Reddick, bring in Ojulari. That could be something good as well. And then last but not least, the Arizona Cardinals. Former Philadelphia Eagle head coach Jonathan Gannon is there. They're 1-1. They're looking good as well. A good 1-1. They're looking pretty strong, pretty talented. But the defense still need help. They're playing well, but I think they need more bodies. They need more help also. And I believe Ojulari makes sense there. I've been saying for a while, Gannon needs better pass rushers and a better DB room. And especially in that cornerback spot. They have pieces. They're okay, but they're not great. And BJ Ojulari from LSU, he was a pretty good player. Folks look forward to see. He's out for the year. I forgot what happened to him, but he's out for the year. Some injury happened. So, there's a hole in the edge rushing spot. These guys have stepped up. They have made plays. We saw versus the Bills, and we saw versus who they played week 2, the Rams. We saw them make plays, but I think another level could be had. Another playmaker could be added to the defense, and I think Ojulari is a guy for that job. So those are my 3 landing spots, alternative landing spots, in case the Raiders don't get him. But I really love the Raiders. I think they're my favorites, clear-cut favorites. The pass connections, Patrick Graham, to me, makes a lot of sense. It really does. He's seen, and it's crazy to say your prime was your rookie year, but he's seen prime, top-notch Azeez Ojulari pre-injury. He's seen what he can do firsthand. He coached him. He was there with him. He knows what he can do. So if you need help, you need a pass rusher help. You need help in that spot. Why not go for someone that you're familiar with? Give him a new landing spot, give him a new role, give him more playing time, and let's see what he can still if he can still do it. It won't hurt too bad on a 1-year deal, an expiring deal, so it won't kill your pockets. It won't kill your pockets in the future either, unless you want to bring him back. So I think that's a really low risk, high reward move for the Raiders to do. If Patrick Graham, vouches for it, and it's up to him probably, they probably come to him if they want to make a move. That, hey, do you trust him? Is he good? And if he backs it up, I think Ojulari will be a Vegas Raider. If not, the Bucks, Jets, and Cardinals could definitely use his service, and more teams out there as well. Who doesn't need a rotational pass rusher that has some upside? So he is playing for something. He is playing on a 1-year deal, so you never know what you might get. You might get 8 sacks, 9 sacks. Even after a couple of games, you might get some good production from a guy who's hungry and wants a new contract. So we'll see what happens, guys. But that's it for the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.